All right, what is going on? So, like the title of this video, and like the text messages and emails I've been getting from people about this new law change that is coming down from the TCPA. And there's a couple other things too, a couple of other changes that are happening that you should be aware of. But the big thing is AI calling legal? Is it banned? Did I just spend all this time setting up all of these AI agents? Am I wasting time on this or that, or all these different things? And the answer to your question could possibly be yes, but the big question is AI calling illegal, you know, that's it, right? Point blank. Is it legal? And the answer is it is legal. It is not outlawed. Unlike the headline, right? There are some aspects to it that have been taken down. And mind you, I'm not a lawyer, but this is just things that I've read and research that I've done online. I'll kind of put it in layman's terms as to is AI calling illegal. And again, my name's Adam, and I run a company called LeadWeb.ai.com, and we are an Air.Ai agency. And the big thing that people are running into is outbound calls. So outbound calls are not illegal. The only way they are illegal is if, one, you don't have consent to call that person. Now, this goes for B2B and B2C. This is, this doesn't fall under that loophole of, hey, can I cold call someone on the DNC, even if it's B2B, right? And by the way, this law is retroactive back to January 8th of this year, which making this video is 2024, right? So even though the law goes into effect on January 2025, it's retroactive back to January 8th, I believe, of this year, 2024. So, I think it's an easier way to go over how to stay compliant with this. And the easiest way to stay compliant is to make sure that you have explicit implied consent that you are actually going to be calling these people through AI or texting them through AI. And so the changes that we've made, the changes that we've started telling our clients to make is to anything that you're doing. Let's say it is a raffle ticket, right? We'll go offline and online. Let's say it's a raffle ticket and you put the name, email, phone number, all that good stuff. And you want to do lead generation that way. And you're going to be contacting these people, but make sure in that little checkbox right there that it says, hey, you are going to be contacted by AI calling. You are going to be contacted by AI texting. And as long as they check that box, right? And however you do it, just make sure it's explicit consent. Yes, I know I'm going to be contacted by AI or an artificial voice or whatever your privacy policy or terms and conditions may be. Make sure it has that. You don't want to be caught in a pickle. All right. On digital, if you're doing Facebook ads, when you're doing a lead generation ad on Facebook, it says, how are you going to use this data? And you put in there, we will call you using AI. We will text you using AI, right? And it very, very black and white. Like, hey, this is what it is. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to use your information, right? Privacy is really starting to become a thing, funny enough, because these last few years, it hasn't been that way. And to give you an idea, for those who are looking from like a home services perspective, let's say you're using Angie Leads or Home Advisor, which same company, but Angie Leads, Home Advisor, Porch, Zillow, if you're in real estate, Trulia, if you're in real estate. What's happening now is Zillow, for example, is saying, okay, you're interested in homes. So what you're going to have to do is you can only choose the people that you want to be contacted, or you can only choose the people who you want to contact you. So what does that mean? So let's say I'm a person looking at a house on Zillow, for example, and I'm interested in a certain house, and there's multiple real estate agents who are paying Zillow to get leads for them. So what ends up happening is Zillow says, okay, here's your information. Choose the agents that you want to contact you. And so agent 1 has 15 years of experience. Agent 2 has 1 year of experience. Agent 3 might have 9, and so on and so forth, right? But they have to physically go in and say, I want this person to call me and I want this person to call me. And so who do you think is going to get the majority of those leads, right? Is it going to be the person with 15 years of experience or the person who has 1 year of experience? And so same thing when it comes to Angie Lead, same thing when it comes to Home Advisor, Porch. All of these companies can no longer provide permission, can no longer provide implied consent to third-party companies, i.e. you as the business who's looking for leads. And so especially if you're, that's just point blank, but especially if you're using AI calling, right? So not only can they no longer provide implied consent or permission for you to call them as a company, but they also have to provide explicit consent using AI. So they have to say, yes, I want Joe and Lisa to call me, and it's okay if Joe and Lisa call me, but also it's okay that they use AI calling and AI texting. That's how specific it has to be. So you need to be able to change your forms on online and offline. You need to be able to your contact forms, make sure those are updated. You need to make sure that you are compliant when it comes to cold calling these leads that are moving forward, because a lot of real estate agents, for example, have 1 million leads from years prior. And as long as they had like a tickle sequence, right, where they would, reach out to them every 90 days and that 90 days would start over, that's no longer going to be a thing either. So real estate's going to be impacted by this. Solar's going to be impacted by this. A lot of these really cool analytics are going to be impacted by this as well, especially with third-party cookies going away with Google and Yahoo. So a couple things. Make sure that your offline forms are updated to make sure that it says, yes, I am wanting to provide consent, saying that that you are going to contact me using AI, calling and texting, email, whatever the case may be. Make sure it's very specific so you can dot your I's, cross your T's on that. Same thing with online forms, the contact us forms, the Facebook forms, you name it, right? I'm just trying to think of some other ones. Your landing pages. Make sure all of that stuff is updated, because you do not want to run into a TCPA violations. They are not cheap. They are not cheap. We're talking, there's one that I saw, it was like 300 million. The highest, I think, was in 2019 for $925 million. It was nuts. It's crazy. Don't want to be caught in that. And there are specific law firms going after that. Now, that's the bad side. What's the good side? What can you do to increase the amount of volume that you're having and make sure that you are in compliance, right? One would be to do inbound calls. So a number of clients who are running radio ads, a number of clients who are running TV ads, any sort of, or billboards, for example, any sort of advertising, you can have a phone number set up. And that's why Air is so awesome, because you can specifically have an inbound number for a campaign. If someone calls in, that's a valid call. Inbound calls are not affected by this law, right? So if you're doing inbound calls, if you're doing marketing to generate inbound leads, 100% put a call us button there, right? They're calling an AI. They're going through that system. You have to set it up a little bit differently within the AI, but I mean, we have videos on that too. Another way would be to have a call center of sorts, or maybe a virtual assistant, and you have some way to generate the call using a human. So for example, you call this like Project Parrot, for example, right? The bird. And you have someone click a button that starts the call, which is a real human that starts the call. And then you can transfer it to a AI, and that's completely compliant. That is compliant with the law. So if you have a big enough call center, you're able to do a lot of calls that way. The issue is it's not scalable in that approach. So, if you're wanting to do outbound, there are some gray areas. And the issue that a lot of these TCPA lawyers are running into as of today, and it is February 2023 or February 2024, there's not a lot of case law. There's not case law at all on this. However, moving forward to next year, there will be. So what you need to pay attention to is consent. How the leads are contacting you would be very important to look at as well, especially on the inbound side of things. I would generate as much inbound traffic as possible. And if you're interested in ways to do that, feel free to reach out to us. We've been in the space for a while and we have our ear to the ground. When it comes to things like this, there's not a lot of people talking about it, but it is going to be big. It is going to be absolutely massive. And if you're looking for a company to, kind of help you navigate the waters of AI calling, we're the company to go to. And if you're interested, there's going to be a demo on the bottom of the description of this video. Or if you want to reach out to us, you can go to LeadWebAI.com and feel free to reach out to us there as well. But there's a lot of changes happening. It's scary. It's also kind of making a lot of these marketing companies think a little bit differently. A lot of these bigger corporations kind of think outside the box, especially with the way that they're doing their advertising. Even these lead generation companies like Zillow, like you name it, a lot of them thinking outside the box, thinking of different ways to scale up. And if you're interested in working with an agency, we're here, leadwebai.com. And again, my name is Adam. And if you have any questions, just reach out. See you.